The mission of a local nonprofit is to provide hands-on, fun-filled adventures in learning for children and families through cultural exhibits, educational programs, and events in the arts and sciences. They have a brand new building that they're going to be going into, and we're going to hear about some of the things that they've got planned for it. So make sure you stick around. Welcome to Polk Place. I'm your host, Brian Lacey, and joining me in studio. Haven't seen him in a while due to some COVID-related things, and but first time back in. I'm saying at least last time you were in promoting the golf tournament last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Eddie Chrysler, senior planner or senior
director,
senior director with Explorations 5. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Great to see you again. I like the.
I'm trying to catch up to you.
Like, yours comes in nice. I've got this thing going on. I don't know.
It looks good.
So talk to me a little bit. What's been going on with you? I mean, we talked to Carrie last month, and you guys kind of opened up and became an incredible place for first responders and nurses. Became a daycare center for them.
Right.
And you, on the other hand, were doing some really cool things during the time off.
Yeah, that's right. Even though we were closed for several months over the past 8 months, we were continuing to work on our new building, and in particular, the exhibits that are going inside the building. There's 5 large galleries. It's a much larger exhibit space relative to our current. So the old building compared to the new building, what are we talking size-wise? Well, right now we have in total 20,000 square feet of exhibit space and admin area, and the new building will be inside and out 48,000 square feet. We have outdoor exhibit area in the new building, which is something we don't have right now. Talk about a little bit, if you would, what it's like for you to be a part of planning each and every facet of this, because basically where you were, it was an existing building, and you guys tried to fit in, where now you've got a clean slate and you get to program everything. Well, that's a really good way of putting it. I mean, we are in a 90-year-old historic Crest building right now, and it's been a fantastic home for us. It's a beautiful building in a nice setting downtown, but it is not specific purpose for what we do. Now we're designing and building not only the building, but the exhibits to fit into this space for really matching what we want to do for programming and serving the community. So in serving the community, this new building is going to have 5 different facets to it. Right. Let's talk a little bit about each one and go in depth on that. So we have 5 galleries, 1 outdoors and 4 indoors, in addition to a black box theater. That's a whole other aspect. Our first gallery is what we call watermelon seeds. This is just a plan view of it, just to give an idea. Now, right now in our current building, we have our tot spot, this is about 15 times larger than that. And this really addresses the younger children, under age 6, approximately those ages. And so each of the areas within this are also designated for different age groups. Like there's an infant area over here called the seed pod. And the whole theme is watermelon seeds going from being a seed to growing into a beautiful fruit, and the ages of the children, the different areas kind of reflect that. So when it comes to some of the things that you're putting within each area, are you working with a company that does things specific? Do you guys get to go to other places and go, we'd like to do this? How do you decide what goes in? Right. Well, we just have finished a 6-month project with a company, Gyroscope, out of Oakland, California, that is a world-class exhibit designer for children's museums. So we went through 6 months of each of these areas and what we were trying to achieve in each of the galleries and coming up with the concepts, and they came up with this floor plan. And we talk about the details of the exhibits and the experiences so that it matches what we're trying to achieve. So we go from Gyroscope, the designer, to USA is a company out of Philadelphia they're the fabricator of the exhibits, and they'll do the installation of the exhibits.
So you've seen a lot of children's museums in your time. This one will be like none other. It will be world class.
This is a world-class building and exhibits going in here. We were fortunate to have the experience of the last 28 years at Explorations, where some of the exhibits were built by volunteers, and we had lots of different ways of getting exhibits with donors from Mosey and Tampa and things like that. But this is all brand new exhibits designed by a world-class institution.
And the cool thing about it is, as our tourism and sports marketing folks say, it's a destination. And for those of us that live here, it's just going to be another jewel in the crown.
Yeah, thank you very much. We think so.
Let's talk about the next exhibit.
So we talked about the younger children. Now, Design Park is really for older children. And this has everything to do with designing and building things and trying things. You fail, you try again. We love the idea of, failure is not something to be ashamed of or have regrets about. It just means you need to try again and make things happen. So when you walk into this exhibit, there's an ideas hub that someone will be there with some kits saying, you can work on these sailboats, and we've got this air table here that you can run your sailboats across this air table. And there's some augmented reality that allows it to follow the trail of the boat as it runs across the area. So you can affect it by the design that you build your boat.
So when you say older kids, is 55 too old?
We, throughout our museum, like costuming is a very big thing, like role playing and things like that. We intend to have costumes for adults in addition to children, because the parents want to get involved too. They want to experience these things. So it's very much, there's a lot of opportunity for interaction between the caregiver and the child. There's a designer's bench where you can sit down and build these things. There's light tables and ball runs. And outside of the exhibit is this wonderful sculpture called the Cloud Lake, which is a bunch of these silvery and blue streamers coming down from the ceiling. And there's lighting controls and air cannons, so you can modify the sculpture, so to speak, with air cannons. So
that is very cool. So what's the next exhibit?
We have...
I definitely dig that one.
Well, the next one's very special to us also, the front yard. This is our outdoor exhibit. And this is going to house Blinky the alligator.
He's going to be huge.
100-foot long alligator that you climb through and over. There's a big roller slide along his tail, a climbing wall up on his leg. So there's a lot of aspects to Blinky. It's going to be a massive thing. These are shade structures. They're lily pads. So Blinky is in his environment with the lily pads and lily pad flowers. This will be visible as you're driving along Kathleen Road, that you will see Blinky in front of our building. There's a little taste of it.
In all actuality, I can't wait to see the first drone shot of it. All right, what's our next exhibit?
Next we have City Play, and this kind of harkens back to our first floor of our current museum, where you have your Publix grocery store. You have a farm which feeds to the grocery store. You have a food truck which takes the food and you're selling it to people. So this is all play action where they can take on different roles. The farm has a veterinarian, a farm vet in there to take care of the animals. There's a home where there's activities in there that you can build the hot water and the cold water piping through the house. There's these park elements that have windows out onto the park. Our first responders with our fire engine built by the Lakeland Fire Department and our sheriff's car built by the Polk County Sheriff's Department, and our Project Weather Live, our Spectrum exhibit where they can do the weather.
And the cool thing that Carrie had talked about us with last month was allowing the children's imaginations to give them a scenario,
Right.
and let their imaginations finish the scenario.
right.
And that is just living proof of that
This is all
opportunity.
about role playing. Yeah, there's the store, which actually is really a costuming station.
Yeah.
But they can pretend to check it out and as if they were buying it.
And I'm really glad that you guys have maintained the relationships with Lakeland Fire, Polk County Sheriff's Office, Publix.
Right.
They've all been great community partners for you.
Yeah, absolutely, you're right.
All right, and our last exhibit?
Our last exhibit, it's TBD Gallery. TBD standing for to be determined, to be determined by the child and their family to come in, and it's very music oriented and performance oriented. So you have a room that has all kinds of different percussion and musical instruments, some found musical instruments. There's a bench where you can feel the vibration of the music. There's the guts of a piano, the piano strings. There's a DPM machine, a drum pad machine, where you're standing on it and the lights are shining and above you and below you and making music. There's a vocal booth so that you're dealing with the vocals, and some electronic displays on what that looks like in addition to hearing it and being able to record it and save it and have it. And then there's our performance. There's a stop motion. There's 4 stations here that allow you to do puppet animation and record it and save it and send it to yourself to have when you get home.
Yeah.
And then a couple of green screen areas. One is a floor green screen where you lie down and you move things, and it's like a stop animation type of thing. But the background changes because it's a green screen, so you can make it outer space, for instance. And then there's the stage version of the green screen. So they can perform in this environment and, again, have a background that is whatever you want.
So if folks are interested in seeing the progress of the new building, wondering what they can do to see what the new building's going to be like, where do they get more information on it?
Sure, they can certainly come into the museum, and if they want to talk to us about what's going on here, we're doing a capital campaign. We have sponsors for a lot of these exhibits, but there's still opportunities available.
Well, listen, thank you for coming in today. Thank you for the update on it. And as things get closer, I fully expect you to come in and give us some more, if you would, please.
Absolutely will. Thank you, Brian.
Explorations 5 was founded on the premise that children, like adults, use all 5 senses to explore and learn about the world around them. Explorations 5 Children's Museum provides 3 floors of kid-powered, hands-on exhibits and mind-stretching programs in the arts and sciences to celebrate the 5 senses. Arts and sciences are the pathway for learning concepts, freeing child's creativity, and unleashing the power of play. Now, they're located at 109 North Kentucky Avenue in Lakeland and open 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Sunday. If you need more information on the museum, you can give them a call, 863-687-3869, or look them up on the web at www.explorationsv.com.